The Perth Racing Preview is where the Straight Up team finds you the winners, and here's the Straight Up team with their preview of Saturday racing from Ascot.
Yes, welcome along. 10 away from 4, and McGinnity is in the studio. G'day, big fellow.
Hi, Mart.
Riles is there.
Hello,
Hey,
Riley.
Brad, how are you?
Hello, Riley.
Can I just mention this? Please be advised that the meeting scheduled at Ascot today has been postponed until Monday, 3rd of February. Fields to remain the same as scheduled. Any horses that were scratched today will be reinstated in the field. Race times to follow. Belmont trials originally scheduled for Monday will be transferred to Tuesday. So you'd be excited about that.
Oh, Monday.
party.
Oh, we're off and racing. You beauty.
Yeah, excited.
Mm.
Monday punting. Doesn't get any better.
Geez, I just avoid the Super Bowl too. Imagine that. Could have had a double header.
Stop it.
The old 6 a.m. start into the...
Yeah.
It's a bit much for you early in the week these days, Mark.
Just carry on. We've booked our seats for Super Bowl, mate. We're in.
Whereabouts? Or
We've
don't
booked
wanna-
out. No, it doesn't matter. You can't get in and annoy him. It's a shoe. We're there with Higo and the team. Higo and Joe. Yeah. David Short's in the team.
Shorty.
Sounds like Mart's just paid for his ticket with that little mention.
Yeah,
7, 8, no, they're sold out. 7, 8, 9, can't get in. Sacrifice. Jamie Mott, 630, 150. Steinsy, 230. Wondering Spirit, $1.50. Quinella, 18, 17, exacta, 47.90. Trifecta, 126.80. First 4, 7, 8, 9, 11, 340, 88 and 7. The double, 59.20. The quaddie, 3, 5, 8, 7, 843.20. Number 10 is scratching. Pakenham race 5 in 23. Opening favourite is Ginger Sweet at $3.70. Now you're laughing. Something for Retrovision?
Yes.
Off the text line?
Retrovision. 0427 789 571. Get those text messages in. Now,
Yes.
we have a little bit to unpack from last week's program.
Sure
Marge.
do.
We had a bit of a
Tip-off.
tip-off take place last week
Yep.
between
The Mauler.
the Dupster and the Mauler.
Yeah.
And there was a fair bit on the line as well from what I remember, because funnily enough, the social media posts regarding the tip-off got a bit more traction than the podcast gets itself. So the tip-off certainly got the interest of the punters on the socials, and fair to say it was a mauling.
A mauling for the mauler. It was 4-2.
4-2.
Duppy was very strong late, wasn't he?
He came home with a wet sail.
Yeah. Sea breeze behind him.
Yep, and the Mauler did put up a box of Dane Swan's finest up on
Oh, really?
box of Swan for the Dupster. So I'll get the Dupster's details for you, Mauler, because I know you're very much a man of your words.
He
So
would pay,
a box of ice cold 20 Ds might be heading the way of Duppy.
Now, we discussed how this is going to work going forward because it's got a bit of traction. So the mauler, it's a cutthroat competition. It's not a best of 3, McGinnity. It's
One and done?
One and done. So the mauler's out.
There's no mediocrity here, mate.
One and done.
The mauler's out.
Small
Duppy's
sample
in.
size.
Yep. Duppy's in. So has he sent tips in yet, the Dupster?
Yes, Duppy's tips are
Beautiful.
in, or at least they will be in by the end of this preview.
Now, this is how it's going to work. The first person who texts in, apart from the mauler, because you can't enter this competition, 2 months? Every 2 months.
That's something that you've just decided.
Yeah, he's got 2 months.
Off the
Mauler.
cuff.
Well, he's already sent his tips in, but Mauler, they're for you only. So what we're doing is whoever can put a set of tips in, 11 races.
All 11 races,
Yeah.
one selection.
Yes, one per race. Send them in on 0427 789 571 and you'll be going up against the Dupster. Okay, now the way this is going to work is any tipster that can go 3 weeks in a row will get a $100 Tab Touch voucher. So Duppy only has to win 2 more and there's a $100 Tab Touch voucher courtesy of McGinnity and his team there at Tab Touch. So how about this? The thinking on the road has been magnificent.
Rolling TNCs.
The rules committee.
It's in the fine print
There's
somewhere.
a protest. The Maulers. He's not happy. It's always going to happen.
Oh,
Did we lock the door to the studio?
sucks to suck.
No, well, he knew it was he knew it was cutthroat, so there you have it.
Yeah, what was it? We said to them,
Yeah, they knew the rules.
1 week only.
Now, what do you think?
We might give the Mauler a chance next week, and he can just take on the Sri Lankan bowling attack instead.
Well, he'd be set for 100 plus, wouldn't he? Just in case you are interested, Australia are 3 for 514, Kawaja 221, the shuffler, and Inglis is 66. Good start there.
I saw a tweet a couple of minutes ago. Australia have scored enough runs to win the first and second test matches.
Series over. Yeah. The rail's at the 7-metre position there on Saturday. What is the weather doing, Riles? You're our weatherman.
Hopefully doing a better job than the bomb.
Well, what have the bomb got wrong this time? They said it was going to be 40, didn't they? They only said 38.
No, said 38.
And they said 40 yesterday, and they didn't get the 40.
No. 35 degrees on Saturday. Rail goes to the 7-metre position. Pretty gentle southwesterly forecast for Ascot in the late and early afternoon. So a little bit of a gentle, caressing sea breeze for those on course.
Normal racing pattern. McGinnity, come on.
I'm thinking on pace until it shows otherwise, Mark.
There's kids out there. There's little kids out there, 3 and 4 years of age, quoting this. You've inspired a generation.
Just wait till they get to the ESPs.
Oh, yeah. And there's another. Now, I've got a bone to pick with you too. Because of this, I got on and had a look. I worked out where to find. And you've put me in for a load of tips I never even tipped. What was all that about? You got Marty.
I went through the whole podcast and every horse you gave a push for.
Hang on.
I just chucked it in.
Oh, push.
Yes.
You know my push is for him, the people to back him to make some money there for Tab Touch. What about the 5 winners I tipped in Melbourne? Where did they go?
Yeah, that's
5 from 5.
Where's our producer girl? She's out getting a coffee. She can't run the trumpet button.
She's gone. I know she is. There she is, back.
Our focus.
And hang on.
Our focus on this program, Mart, on the straight-up Perth racing preview.
Well, if that's the case.
If it was a straight-up Melbourne racing preview, we would have posted them.
Now, let me say this. You need some accolades. Both of you boys hit some form. Riley, you finally found a bit of touch, and you're around the place again, McGinnity. Couple of good winners.
Yeah, you're only
11 races this week to
only as good as your last, Mart.
Get stuck into.
Yeah.
There were plenty happy to sink the boots in a couple of weeks prior to that, so glad we could get a few back.
And there's one off the text line too. Loved your apparel there last Saturday.
My apparel.
Yes, you look very sharp. You had a bit of a blue checks suit on.
Yeah, the checks. Yeah. I'm a checks man.
Yeah, checker.
I think a couple of the other boys are a bit more
subdued,
linear.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm a checks man.
So
bit of colour as well.
Does it well. Wears it well.
Yeah, wears it well. So Wednesday, Thursday, no racing. Hey, that's weird. Wouldn't be good for the turnover.
It's never ideal.
You've got to give it back.
It's never ideal. Well, plenty going on the weekend and Monday now that get the punts as well.
We've got Albany tomorrow too, don't forget that.
Yeah, Esperance Saturday.
Yep. Good meeting down there. Key Clean handicaps the first 1,800 metres. And, geez, I've tipped a bit of time into this card, I tell you. Wow. 11.19 the first. 1 Atlanta Speech is 3.30. 2 Never Sober, 19 into 14. 3 Kings Parades, 2.90. 4 Striking Fella, 6. Boys Light Up is 17 into 12. Ocean Rangers, 15. Pagey's Turners, 12. Rock DJ, 20. And Royal Splendour, 16 into 12. So there's a few sort of roughies have been specced here.
Bit of long-range meerkat action early, Mart.
A couple of LRMs.
Never Sober early. Our local pro Keen at the $18. Local pro, so Keen Royal Splendour. Place heavy there at the 370, 740 places there. The other goes are more market smurging, the old market smurging for horses like Boys Light Up. That's just merging. There's been no money there really with us, so we'll look to lay them again later on in the piece.
Yeah, the 2 horses fancied by the market, the 2 I had pretty clear in this opening race as well. Not enough of a price available for me, but I did want to make a really strong case for Atlantis Beach, who just looks really well placed for mine. Back into graduate, no Metro win, 60-plus company. It's not a strong race either. Was beaten only 3.5 lengths by Bonjoy last start. Drew widest in that field and had to just really drag a mile back and worked home in some of the best late splits of that race. Was a Grandstand Cup winner earlier in the preparation. I'm just hoping that Sean O'Donnell can utilise the barrier and sit close handier to the speed here, and he's been working home and getting to the line like the 1,800 metres is going to suit him as well. So it's a field that's lengths weaker than the races he has been contesting this prep, and he's a proven weight carrier. The only concern for mine is that he's traditionally not had a very good record at Ascot. He hasn't traditionally been an Ascot horse. He's had 15 starts for 3 minor placings and no wins at the track. So that is a bit of cause for concern with him, but happy to just sit and wait at the moment and see what the market does. But he's the one I do want to be with, and King's Parade does look the danger. Contrary to Atlantis Beach, does have a strong record at Ascot off the back of a strong win down at Mount Barker last start, and gets a couple of kilos on Atlantis Beach for a length and a bit defeat earlier in the preparation. So there's enough to suggest that perhaps King's Parade can turn the tables as well.
Yes. Gee, not much getting me at this stage in this race, Rolls. I did like the run of Ocean Ranger last start, so I could entertain it at the bigger price each way with a small bet. But yeah, race one of the day, very early, 1,800 metres. This might be a real. You might not want to be last and having to circle them. So very, very small bet there. So I'll probably stay out, Mart, at this stage and just try and get Big John's autograph before midday if I can.
Got a bit of information evolving with Big John. We're working on this now. Race number 2, the Liberties Insurance Handicap, 11:54 the start time, 1,200 metres. And one is Comic Hero, 360 to 310. Cavallo Red, 650 to 550. King Adviso, 7 to 750. They did bet 8s. Caporetto, 9 into 7. 5 Centre Bond, 340, 380, 360. 6 Don't Trust Judas, 8 out to 17. 7 is Hobber Meteor is 31. 8 Trespassing is 26. And Never the Twain, 15, 14. And the Real Senor is 101.
Good, actually really tidy little betting race. This Caporetto, there's been plenty of snipping, mostly from these local sharpies there. So bet 300 at the $7, another 300 there at the 7. So King Adviso's getting some local pro money as well, 300 there at the 8 times 2. Comic Hero, 900 at the 320. That is Eastern States pro money. Not a lot else to speak of. It's just those ones at this stage, Ross.
Yeah, good race. It's a good little Class 3 for a Saturday. I love the setup here at an each-way price for number 3, King Adviso, who he was run down by a nice horse first up in a Class 5 at Pinjarra Park, and our mate Archie went on to run a ripper race in defeat last weekend, obviously, to make that form look pretty good, and just thought he maps to get a really soft lead here, King Adviso. There's not a lot of other speed engaged in this race. Trespassing's not going to be able to hold him out from finding the front, and getting to Ascot, a track where he should be able to lead, and if he gives a kick like he did rounding the home corner at Pinjarra first up, back into a Class 3 from a Class 5 without having to absorb what doesn't look to be a great deal of pressure in the run. I just thought I really liked how this race sets up for him at the each-way odds. So I'm going to make a really strong case for King Adviso for the Ganjimi team here in race number 2. And obviously there's some depth to this as well. Cavallo Red was a huge run first up, but just don't like the barrier for him once again. Centre Bond's got plenty of upside and scope. Undoubtedly there's ability there, but I do think 1,200 metres is going to be on the short side for him, as impressive as his trial was, and he's a horse who can still do a little bit wrong in his races. And Comic Hero's the one where I could entertain even if you don't like the each way, maybe even a back save here if you are a fan of Comic Hero. He does look very well placed back into a Class 3. he's better than this company, quite frankly, but he will have to do it from last with the 60 kilos first up, which is obviously the concern, but positive that the pads are off. Should have beaten home the subsequent Fitzpatrick Plate winner first up last campaign in Graduation Company with better luck, and then was it just about a good thing beaten deep the trip second up last prep behind Miss Flirtatious in 66 plus Company. So he does look very well placed, Brad, but you are banking on him being able to circle the field from last first up with the 60 kilos.
I echo most of your sentiments there, Rose. Either one of sort of Comic Hero, King Advisor, or Centre Bond I could back, whichever one probably the market spits out late will be the one that gets me, I think, when it settles in there. So, and we'll hopefully get a nice little lead from race one as to how, especially early in the day, how advantageous it can be to be on pace. And if that does show to be the case, and King Advisor will certainly be getting a few of us.
Get your bets on if you're playing NBL today. 4:30 is the tip-off for the Jack Jumpers at 4:20, playing the Hawks at $1.23. The line's there at 9, over-under 187. Update for this next event coming in from Pakenham, race number 5. Full look at the board over the 2,000 metres. We're in the yard. And one Kentucky Knickers 19 into 16. Myers Reward is 8 into 4:20. Damien Lane. Number 3 Hiawatha is 7 from 9. Cotton Tree, 460, a slight drifter. Maxi Bond, the 6 out to 19. 7 Ballanor and a bit of odds, all 61. 9 Gemini Dancers, 34, a drifter. 10 Ginger Sweet, $424. 11 Socially Sassy, $13. And make that 12 Suntora is a drifter out to $6.50.
Keep getting those text messages in on the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571. Hey, champions, when do the cash for comments start for the upcoming Magic Million sales lots from Mart? Also, Mart, there's a second part to this text message. Can you please have a word to Big Wesley John and ask him to stop picking on Julio on Twitter? Pretty ordinary stuff earlier in the week.
He's only trying to match him up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just doing the right thing.
IDF, babe.
He's trying to help him out, Benny.
Hey?
He's just trying to help him out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just give a man a leg up.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly right. The Bisley Workwear Handicap over the 1,000 metres, and it is race number 3. Time to go 12:29. Have we got those tips in yet for a player?
Yes, we do. We do.
Who's our player?
We've got Duppy v. Dutchy. It's going to be...
Duppy v. Dutchy.
The Dupp v. the Dutchman.
Well,
So,
it'll be interesting to see them.
Ds.
You'll have to put a market up. Head-to-head. Match race. Mauler said, why can't we make it a 3-way go? Mauler, you're out, mate. Just the rules are the rules, mate. Okay?
Duppy's wondering when his call from the package is coming to get him on the program full time.
Well, it was an auspicious debut, as Darren would like to say. Four of the best.
He says only got the 2K extra views the new blokes usually get on the tip-off post.
There you go.
They're
He's
all
got
his,
us covered.
they're all his other accounts.
Right, the Bisley Workwear, and number 1 is Keep It a Mystery, 9 to 8. Clean them up. You put up 10, it went to 11. They said, that's just about enough for me, 750. The top bar is 21. He's got the safest. Well, they went 650, and then you said, right, we'll see if there's any takers at 8. Bang, into 550. Want a Winner, 7 to 650. 6 My Aloha is $6. Snow God, 240, 270, 240, and La Excellence, $91.
This is a punting race, Mart.
Yes.
Oof, we like this. Snow God, 1,400 at the 245, 1,300 at the 265. He's got the safe, 500 at the 550, 350 at the $7. You can't have that again. 500 at the $8. You can't have that again either. He's keeping a mystery. Wow, the bets for this horse are piling up. They really got quite keen early. Couple hundred at the 9, couple hundred at the 8, 300 at the 850, 400 at the 8, and a final bet of 1,000 at the 7. Oh. Want a Winner. Local pros pretty keen. 400 at the 6, 300 at the 6. Clean them up. Where do I start? There's about 7 or 8 bets here ranging from about $10, $11 into about $8. clean them up. So punters keen there as well. This is a really good betting race, guys.
It's a really good race in general, I think. You won't see many 3-year-old 1,000-metre contests with as much depth as this. We'll start with the favourite in Snow God, who couldn't have been really any more impressive on debut, was really made to work early out of the barriers, was written off by Old Cobb with 200 metres to go. But once he balanced up, he was pretty powerful the way he finished off to grab Nikki Mota, and was pretty soft once he got past her late through the line as well. He won like a horse who would only improve for that experience. He's got that tactical speed. He should be able to lob a beautiful spot in running here. And while he is up significantly in class, there are some really nice horses in this race. I just thought he won like a really nice horse on debut. I think he's only going to improve for that experience, and the visors going on should sharpen him up a bit as well. So the price just isn't there for me at the moment. I'm hoping to get something near the $3 mark, and I'm happy to follow up with Snow God, who I think looks a really nice animal. But yeah, as I mentioned, there's plenty of depth here, and horses that we've all been following at certain stages over their journeys. Mart as well, he's got the safe, hasn't put a foot wrong in his career to date for Graham Ballantyne. I just think that maybe the 1,000 metres and the wide draw are what's against him. Absolutely no knocks on what he's been able to do. Has that form around Storyville, who we know what she was able to do through our carnival. Clean him up, just isn't helping herself with how she's leaving the barriers at the moment, Brad. She's ending up in awkward positions because she's just not stepping cleanly. But that form around Schmoove Mover, Supernatural, and London's Image is proper 3-year-old form. And My Aloha, who's been a massive drifter in betting, was luckless in the Placid Arc, had excuses in the Lister last start. Perhaps she might have had enough for that prep, and you go back to Melbourne Cup Day and she ran down Sunlit Fresco, who's a really nice mare with some real authority, and was given a soft trial on Tuesday, I should say, not Monday, down there at Pinjarra Park leading into this weekend. And there's going to be punters out there making cases for Keep It a Mystery, who I know Luke's got a really high opinion of, and also Want a Winner, who looks a nice horse the way this colt has been trialling for Sean and Jay Casey as well.
Indeed, wonderful trial. For me, yeah, once again, we're singing from the same hymn sheet in regards to what we think about the race. This isn't far off a listed quality type of race, is it? There'll be some form coming out of Earmart.
You wouldn't have seen the hymn sheet, mate. Drop off that. Wouldn't know what one looks like.
Too busy in the confessional. My Aloha each way. My Aloha each way for me. This is a
drifter. You've taken on the drift.
Probably means I went up too short. I would have thought, mate. I'm not worried about the drift at this stage at all, because I don't think it means a lot except for the support for a lot of other horses. So My Aloha each way gets me at that $6.
I think with all of his winners last week, Duppy's been able to go out and afford himself a new phone. We've got a new text message here. First time texter, long time listener. I was very taken by Dwayne Duppy's tips last week. I would happily subscribe to him all the time. Chad from Applecross.
Yeah. Doesn't take long, does it?
No. There you go.
Chad's not new to the Applecross region, is he?
We might get in trouble.
We
got to keep he's our number one man on drive, Brad. So you need to be very careful. We don't want to upset the apple cart. All right.
Had a rough week too.
Get your bets on Pakenham. They're milling around behind the barriers. So we got anything for the book here, Ross?
Snow God for me, but just want a bit of a better price. So happy to hold fire for now. But it's been a bit of a sad week, hasn't it, Brad?
We need some emotional music in the background for the
losing the great mare.
The news for the retirement of Miss Vasari, Mark.
Oh, sorry, I've hit the wrong button.
Well, when she hits the breeding barn in a few months' time, that might be the right button.
Who will it be? Safeguard, just meandering around, or a little bit of sessions, perhaps?
Machino. What was that? Can we have that again? My Aloha each way, Mark, for me.
And this isn't for the graphics, all right, but I was very impressed with Want a Winner's trial, and I did like its win first up when Jade McNaught rode it. Yes, you're listening to Straight Up, 20 minutes past 4 o'clock, about to get to race number 4. Pakenham, race 5, we've got the dibs.
I do, Mart. Race number 5, 5, 11, 9 and 7. 5 Cotton Tree for Ethan Brown. 4:30, 160. Beat 11. Socially Sassy, 290. Third 9 Gemini Dancer, 1140. Quinella, 3690. Exacta, 5760. Trifecta, 2,477.30. First 4, 5, 11, 9 and 7, 25,683.40. The double on 7 and 5, 41.74 and 13 out. Race 5 at Pakenham.
Okay, race number 6. This is due to go in 23 minutes over the 1,200 metres to Arizona Activist, $5.53. Street Elite, $5. 4, She's a Con, $9.50. Number 5 is Van Cookler at 26.7. Magic Drum, 101. 8 is Naughty Benny, $2.75 from Bunbury. 9 Primal Spirit, $9.50. Number 10 is Rashiri, $41. 11 Serious Statement, $4.20. And 12 Unique Bambino is $126. Retrovision's text line. We got something there?
Yes,
You're
Liam
sniggering and smiling in the background.
Yes, great text, Liam from Aveley. Good to have you with us. He says, "Hey, Mart, a bit of heat wouldn't have stopped a big horse like yourself getting around the paddock back in the day."
Nah, I love the heat, but I tell... Who was that?
Liam from Aveley.
Liam, you're dead right, but it has apparently affected Big Bosch in this one-on-one. He's had a one-on-one with Hayden King from the West. Can you believe that?
One-on-one in this heat too, mind you.
Hayden, I don't think he knew who he was. Anyway, we couldn't get a run with him, but he said that he handled it okay. Plenty of Chinese, and he's looking forward to Saturday.
Speaking of the Bosch, Liam's given us a winner as well. At first he asked, did you guys know that Hemlock Stone won the Perth Cup? And he's got a winner for us as well. My tip for Saturday race 11, number 2, Son of the Bosch. Go well.
Okay.
Thanks, Liam. Good text.
Another one there from Ginger Jane. She said, is my son going to give his tips for Melbourne again at some stage? Don't worry. Ginger, they're coming. They're coming. The MCA Polytrack Plate over the 1100 for the 2-year-olds. This is due to go 104. Race 4 at 104. You're in massive trouble, McGinnity. You've started a bit early here. I do feel lucky is 440. Number 2 is Capitola, 6 into 390. 3 Stride Away is a 5 into 4 after opening at 440. True Fiction out to 31 adrift. Aberdeen Flyer, 11. Bose, lad, 101. Yes, Buster, 101. Champagne Crusader, 17. My Riches, 26. Slip the Jab, 550. 11, Why She Stayed at 34 from 61. Elegant Rulers, 18-17. And Pure Silver, 71.
Yeah, a little deduction with that scratching there, Mart. She's hot. Probably only about a 5 or 6 cent deduction there. Plenty of money early too, so one to watch when it does get to the races. Stride Away, what have we got here? Oh, local pro money. 500 at the $5.
LPM.
Capitola, 400 wins at the $6 more LPM. Stride Away, another 300 there. Capitola, plenty of $200 bets. Champagne Crusader, one out wide. They're a couple hundred each way at the $19. That's about it, Ross.
Yeah, pretty keen here on number 3, Stride Away, who just has to be top seed for me with how this race, once you go through it, some may knock at the time, but you don't really see them trial any better than what he did back on the 20th of January. He looks to have come back in superb order. I love the fact that he's already got a racing preparation under his belt as well. His win back in October over the 1,000 metres was outstanding, and it took a pretty withering run on debut by Talk & Co. to grab him late the last time he was at the races with a huge gap back to the rest of that field. He comfortably had the measure of Capitola when they last met. I know Capitola gets a couple of kilos on him here, but I just thought he was still the far superior performance on that occasion, and with a little break, he may have just come back even better off the manner in which he trialled. He's drawn beautifully. I think 1,100 metres is a big tick for him, and I think from what we've seen, Brad, to date, that he's one of the nicer 2-year-olds that we've seen wheeled out thus far since the beginning of the season. So happy to be with Stride Away in the book for me, Mart. Race 4, number 3. I've got plenty of respect for Capitola, who has a lovely map to work with. Looks as though Chris Parnham would have had a few options here as well, and that may have been the way he's gone. With Capitola, slick recent jump out as well, broke 24 seconds. Do I feel lucky? Very dominant performance last start. We've seen that form stack up as well through Our Naughty Secret and Perfectly Proper, but does have to carry 3.5 extra kilos here. Month between runs, drawn barrier 13 of 14. So there is a little bit against Do I Feel Lucky this time around as opposed to last start, and a number of other runners that look that look really nice 2-year-olds as well. Brad, Aberdeen Flyer, luckless on debut, really nice horse, 14 of 14, or 13 of 13 now, probably the sticking point for him, and slipped the jab. That was a
Electric
400-metre jump out. 22.95, is that right?
Yeah. I didn't run the clock myself, but
that's
sometimes
quick.
You do scratch your head.
It's very quick. She's drawn very wide, but she looks to have plenty of speed, and there's probably a few more questions and answers with her getting to the races for the first time. I probably would have preferred to see her over 1,000 on debut as well, just in terms of how she went about it in that 400-metre jump out. But you just have to be respecting of her off that performance, don't you, given the time?
Oh, 100%.
The visual aspect of it, but straight away on top for me. I think he's a really nice 2-year-old.
Yeah, I can't.
I should say. Sorry, my apologies. Sorry to Big Wesley John. A very nice 2-year-old.
He's busy on Twitter. He's not listening. I couldn't take under $5 about anything in this race because of the respect I have for a few of them and the depth that this race seems to have. Aberdeen Flyer, one thing that my note said the barrier may even be a good thing for that horse. Looks like a customer that would appreciate a bit of room in the horse race. And do I feel lucky? That draw does look awkward, but you only need to get covered behind one horse, Mart, to give you that chance from out wide. It seems enough tempo on the race. You'd think Slip the Jab will be humming along out in front. You'd like to see that, and so it gives them all their chance to chase it down. So really good, even race. I'll probably look at maybe an Aberdeen Flyer each way at that $13 around the trap. So I really liked its debut.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a semi, isn't it? This is a semi-final for the Magic Millions, isn't it, for a few of these? So
sure is.
Heading down to Pinjarra for the Magic Millions?
Unlikely.
Right. And don't forget, too, Sunday, they've got the Breeders' Classic at Bunbury. Are you officiating? Or?
I am.
That market's up already with Tab Touch?
We'll run through that later, too.
With the Big Red Machine.
He's a Sunday specialist. He race number 5, the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap over the 1,200 metres at 1:39. I often wonder what he gets up to during the week, Big Red. He could get up to anything, couldn't he? 1 Capricorn Man is 8, 2 War Gem is 15, 3 Our Rocky Bay 6 into 5, 10 Snips 31, 5 Just St James 650 to 480. Mystic Jane is 14, 7 Playing Games 950, 8 Cessation is 8 into 7, Rocket Juice 480, and Talk and Gibberish 16 into 12.
Nice omen bet there down the bottom. Been some money early, Talk and Gibberish, a couple of hundred at the 16. A couple of hundred War Gem at the $15. Again, if you like, sir. Just St James, the early money. There's been that 400 at the 650. 400 at the $6. A couple of hundred more there at the $6. This has been well supported. This is Eastern States pros and local pros, Mart.
Yeah, LPs.
The LPs and the ASPs.
Yeah, local sharp money cessation as well at the $8. So reasonably even spread at this stage.
I just digress, because while we're doing this, and I know we're under the pump for time and that, but I do see headlines, and one just up there caught my attention. Expect the unexpected from Freo this season. Now, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean?
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, from Freo. That's all they ever dish up. The unexpected. If you expect them to win, they lose, and you expect them to lose, they win.
So what you're saying is I'll miss the 8.
Wow, what are they on about?
Because everyone says they're going to finish top 4.
Channel 7, lift your game. Race 5, let's get back into this. I've got one in this. I'll lead with it. Rocket Juice, it'll be winning. Back to 1,200.
Wow, there you go. There you go, punters.
I'm with you, Martin, actually.
I'll just make sure I triple check that before all the graphic goes up.
Not for the
This
graphic.
week.
You can't put me on graphics.
Yeah, no real strong opinion from me here, gentlemen. X-Factor runner, though, clearly just St. James, who I've always had a bit of time for, was a clear forgive run at his only attempt at 1,200 metres. In his career, he belted a pretty sharp horse in the cessation down the straight last time out. It was a very impressive performance, and you go through his career, and this horse clearly gets on very well with Chris Parnham, who sticks as well. You go back to November, he hit the line super into second with 60.5 kilos on his back over the 1,000 metres behind None So Spicy, who he gave 3.5 kilos to on that occasion. I think None So Spicy is a really nice sprinting type for the Caseys, and that's a nice enough form line into a Westmead Platinum, given what she was able to go on and do in that campaign. You know, he's a get-back run-on type from barrier 10, but he's got a proper turn of foot, and he's got a bit more upside than most of these here, I would suggest. So he was the interesting runner for me. Just St. James, War Gem, Mapswell trolled up nicely under the Unraced Apprentice, contested a much stronger race than this, when without a lot of luck, 3 deep, no cover, fresh last campaign. So you could certainly make a case for War Gem at the big odds. And Rocket Juice with Mart as well. Much better suited back to 1,200 metres with a barrier. Was never going to be suited back to the 1,000 second up, but was perhaps a mixture of a touch flat and the fence not being the place to be on that occasion as well. So I do think Rocket Juice is a massive improver back out to 1,200 metres.
Yeah, Rocket Juice for me, the 550 around the track smart. Yeah, that's another one I could forgive his playing games. I think it's actually ticking along pretty well, approaching at double figures there each way. Agree with Riley, War Gem's a chance. Capricorn Man's another chance now that's got one on the board, and a race full of chances. But yeah, for me, Rocket Juice looks the one that's got the right setup and he's ready to go.
Okay, the Peters Investments handicap is race number 6. Is over the 2,200 metres. Time to go 2:19, and number 1 Flower in the Wind is 19.2. Rocking Society 4:23. Rudia is 18. 4 Weir Chew is 15. 5 Alaskan is $5. Number 6 Romeo 12. 7 Stormageddon into 265. Flash Paddy's 20. God's Garden 71 and Icebergs. The text went out. 21 into 950. Did you get it this week, the owner?
They leave me out. They've had enough.
I won't say it's proper text message adjacent.
Right.
So it's not the full, but there's certainly plenty of support there. The 20s, obviously, yep, long gone. There's plenty of $100 bets and 100 each way type bets there at the 20s all the way in. So good luck to those punters. Good luck in running a nice fourth.
Yes.
Stormageddon, 1,000 at the 290 ESP. Rocking Society, 400 at the 440. Gets some support every start. Fair enough. Another couple of 300s there at the 420 and 440. That's about it, Ross.
One from Slammer off the text line. He says, the cricket's very boring, apart from hopefully watching Josh Inglis get his century on debut. It's a very hard watch, but he said Icebergs to win race 6 on Saturday. So the Slammers... It's the Slammers' money. It's a big go. Fair old little bit of support there for the Berg off a nice enough performance last weekend. For me, I don't have a lot to give you in this race, Mark. Not my bag, these staying races, but one thing I will say, Stormageddon, as we know, was pretty luckless last start behind Noteworthy in what was a pretty slowly run staying contest where they just really dawdled along and it turned into a bit of a sprint home, and the horses that were able to make their runs into the race at the right time were advantaged. But I think with better luck, Flash Paddy's in that finish, in that race, and he's almost, 9-10 times the price of Stormageddon.
Yep.
I think that's a wild discrepancy given Sean O'Donnell also had to duck back to the inside towards the fence, which certainly wasn't the place to be on that day. So
you tipped it last start, did you?
Yeah, I did, and thought he was pretty unlucky, and I can't believe he's 20-1. He was
not sticking?
He was beaten 2 lengths on that occasion. I don't like the fact Sean O'Donnell's hopped off to ride Romeo, so would have loved Donga to stick, but yeah, Flash Paddy's a big price at 20-1. That'll get me for a small each way investment once again to follow up. I think the The Stormageddon obviously was unlucky in that race as well. Rocking Society had clear excuses, no doubt about that. Lucy was on the back of the wrong horse, and I think she had to get going when she did. There was plenty. Happy to pot her on the text line here on courtesy of Retrovision for the ride, but she was on the back of High Boy, who was taking her nowhere. They were walking. She had to get going to put her horse into the race when she did. Had 60 kilos to carry as well. He certainly didn't lose me as an admirer, and Wee Ray Chu was a much better run last start and brings a bit of X factor up to the staying trip from a low draw. As we know, the Belmont Classic winner over the 2,200 metres, defeating a pretty nice horse through the winter as well. So I think Wee Ray Chu's a blowout hope at the odds, but yeah, not a lot from me here, gentlemen.
I agree. We rate you at the $18 around the traps each way is a great sneaky if you do want to avoid the favourites in the race, which I can understand why people wouldn't. And we staying strong with horses like your Alaskans, your Stormageddons or your Rocking Societies, fair enough. But yeah, we rate you is ready to run a race, Mark.
You're giving Rudy a no hope? He's going to love the 2,200. It's bred to get 4 miles.
And
they're doing a good
Richard
job with it
from
too.
Kalgoorlie off the text
Big Rich.
line. Are we discounting Alaskan this week?
Oh, I'm not a fan.
He's had enough chances for me.
I thought he was going for it. Didn't Chris say he's ready for a spell when we spoke to him last Sunday? Or getting close to it?
I wasn't
Weren't
in
you?
here. No.
I thought you were.
No, wasn't me. I didn't have that conversation with
It
Chris,
was Michael.
unfortunately.
No, it was Michael and Richie Bell. That's right. Mix tip the $51 shots in this race 4 at Kilmore. So if you backed it, number 3 Majigan. We go to race number 7, and this is the Tab Touch. Have you got the touch handicap over 1,100 metres? Time to go 2:59. How are you travelling now, McGinnity? One. Got to push this through a bit. I've got to get hold of Jay Rooney too, because he needs some tips for racing tomorrow in Hong Kong. Ruler Rocket is $12. 2 Crystal Vein, 23. 3 Best Mood, 6 into 5. 4 Lost City, 373.60. Treasured Queen, 559 out into 750. This is the one they've come for. Rapid Rock. Yeah, it's yours. 21 into 850. Export Girls, 26 into 19. Princess in Red, $12. This will show you 16 at your service, 5 from 6, and Wise Words, 81.
Well, we can start with the Rapid Rock money. Oh, there is a bit there. There's a couple of $100 bets there at the $21. Nice place bet there. 900 places. 700 places at the $4. Eyesight's going well. And then a couple of hundred wins at the 10, a couple of hundred wins at the 950. Export Girl, a bit of each way snipping. 500 place at the 525. There's a $300 win bet there. At your service, 500 wins at the 550. Lost City is starting to get some rank and file money now, Mart.
Yep.
The Maulers group horse.
Yes. Railway Stakes winner, I think you said. No, it was something along those lines, but it gave the Maulers a big fan of this horse. I know that for a fact.
Be very careful what you say.
He's not happy.
He's ready to take action.
He's a bit grumpy, the Mauler. Greg L's pretty keen here. He's keen to load up. He's loading up here, Mart.
Yep.
The great Greg L. At your service for Luke Fernie. He's pretty keen. And I better get to the Dutchie's text because he's not a happy man. He says he thinks we're avoiding him, which we certainly aren't doing. It's the Dutchman here. Been a tough couple of days in this heat off the back of a big weekend celebrating with the Dupster, and they go head-to-head in this week's edition of the Tip-Off. Wish you'd given us a heads up that if the Mauler lost the Tip-Off, he'd be sent packing to the Bureau of Meteorology. Assume he's gone there and declared a woeful 37-degree guess for today. And I'm hearing he's also asked the great Wesley John Cameron for a tip-off next week. And let's just hope that he's talking about horses. Otherwise, he might be in a bit of strife.
He would be in a bit of strife there. Okay, we're going to get moving here. We're running late. Clint McDonald, he's tipping Naughty Benny in this next race at Pakenham. 2 punters if you want to have a bet in that. What are we doing?
2 for me here. Interested to see what the market does, but I'm a big fan of Lost City and also At Your Service. Might have a bit of a back save play here. Lost City unbeaten in three runs on top of the ground in her career to date. Thought the recent trial was nice under Chanel Cooper. She's got some versatility and a really nice barrier to work with first up here as well. I just love the fact that she's on top of the ground here with a lovely gate for Clint Johnston-Porter. And At Your Service bumped into a pretty nice 3-year-old in all grunt last start, and her effort had plenty of merit given she did a bit wrong in the run as well. Drops 3.5 kilos off her back, gets a good map, and that last start race has proven a pretty red-hot form reference already with 2 subsequent winners and a place getter who missed by a neck as well. So it's been the form to be following, and back to 1,100 metres might be a bit of a concern at this stage of her prep, but given how she races and she can overdo things, I think in a fast run 1,100 metres that might just suit her as well. So happy to back and save with Lost City and At Your Service, and I was a big wrap for the trial of Best Mood as well. Just don't love the setup with this horse. 1,100 metres, wide barrier, likely to go back first up, I thought, or if they went forward, it looks a bit sticky for this horse. So I'm going to leave Best Mood for now and look for a Lost City At Your Service play here in race number 7.
Yeah, they're the ones that have to be respected in the race. Making a little case for Treasured Queen. Price has sort of gone, but just showing a bit of forgiveness there. Horses definitely showing better ability than, and things haven't gone quite right either in the especially I think last start. So the 1,100 with a kind of run, it can certainly be right there in the finish. But it's as much as there's a bit of talent up the top there, Mark, it's a pretty open sort of race. A horse like Ruler Rocket, that was a nice run last start, Ross.
Yeah, looks a bit of a sticky
map
again. Plus, I do like Ruler Rocket with a senior jockey. He's not the easiest of horses to ride. He's got a few quirks, that's for sure.
This will show you down there from the stable.
Well, honest, tough, and you know what you're going to get out of the horse, so can't query that.
All right. Hawks have got away to a good start against the Jackies here. They lead 14-7, halfway stage of the first quarter. Runners around behind the barriers at Pakenham. We need to push through here, so we'll at least commence the opening look at race 8, Ascot, the Petaluma.
Josh Inglis has also turned up on
Has he really? Wow, that's a good effort.
Well done, Joshy.
Against Lakeview.
Overdue.
Lakeview and Star there at the Cruikshank Sports Arena, wasn't it? Oh, no, sorry, it's Sri Lanka. 1, Boab Boy, 9 into 480. This is a genuine cave-in. Bleecker Street is 16 into 12. Great Demon, 750. On Patrol, 14 to 12. 5, Sky Talker, 13 into 9. 6, Chino La Diva, $7. 7, Prince of Santos, favourite, 380-330. 8, Belle Journey is 51 to 23. 9, High Commission, 750. 10, Allegro Del Mondo, 71. And 11, Knock One Back is $51.
Boab Boy will start with the heavy place component, 1,100 at the 280. Those win bets. When did the win bets get stuck into? $9, $300 at the 9, 300 at the 850, 500 at the 5. Boab Boy. So plenty. That's an Eastern States Pro, so they're happy to take the $5. Prince of Santos, we got a bit of cash here as well, 800 at the 350 and another 700 at the 350. Another 400 there at the 350 as well. Sky Talker, a bit of each way snipping there at the $13. Aside from that, not a heap else to speak of there, Ross.
Do we have time, Mark?
I reckon push it through. Yeah, push it through.
Yeah, okay. I was pretty keen to back Boab Boy at the each way, or come on the show and tip him at the each way earlier today. But gee, there's been some money. $8.50, $9 around with Tab Touch this morning. That has well and truly evaporated. I thought it looked a really nice setup for him with a soft lead. I thought his first run for Simon Miller was really good, and Memory Parade has already franked that form. And while it's quite a sharp rise in trip second up, I just thought it looked a really nice setup for him to lead and get them chasing in a race that looks pretty even On paper, the other horse I'm interested in is number 3, Great Demon, who wasn't suited by a really muddling tempo.
Good
fresh. He gets out to 1,500 metres, reunites with Brad Parnham, and the winkers go on. And while I will say it does look a slightly tricky map from where he's drawn, he's the horse that you can put a line through that first up run and think he can bounce back in a big way. So Boab Boy and Great Demon for me here, Martin, race number 8.
Okay, let's hold it there. So wrapping up on this race at Ascot, you do like Boa Boy, Riley?
I do.
Bit of respect for Great Demon.
Yes, and I think we should probably touch on Prince of Santos, who
Yep.
I've always had a bit of time for him. Couldn't have been more dominant on resumption, but I am a little bit of a query on the strength of that form. I don't think there was a great deal of depth to that Class 1 race that he did win very impressively, but he does get a really nice map from the barrier, and he should improve for having that run and win under the belt as well.
Chino Ladiva at this stage at the current prices for me each way. I think it's about $9 around the traps. Drawn sweet, looks like a lovely run. I don't think I've got any issues with the 1,500 for it, and looks a pretty nice horse going through the grades, and the penny seems to have dropped.
What do you think of the trial of High Commission?
Fantastic. Oh, it was really good.
1,500 first up looks perfect for it, doesn't it?
Yep.
Was it scratched on
Scratched
Monday behind the
barriers
gates?
on
Yeah.
Monday.
Scratcher, yeah.
Hasn't been seen at the races since Feb 15th, 2023, so that's almost 2 years ago now.
You can't win.
I know Axman's Jazz did similar for Grant and Alana Williams, but I'm sort of personally, I'm always happy to take them on off.
Oh, the 12-month rule. Happy 70th birthday, Finn Parry. Well, good on you, Finn. You could write a good book as well over the 1,400 metres. Johnny Zukel last week, Finn Parry this week. Two of the doyens, the stewarding game. And let's have a look at the betting here. Number 1 is Bruce Almighty. Now, the scratching Papaviro Princess, that would have affected the market.
Yeah, that'll be a decent deduction. Only a few operators were up at that stage.
Right.
But she was about the $3.50 mark, I think.
Okay. So, Bruce, we won't worry about the fluctuations. He's $6.50. Benji's $8.50. Street Parade's $31. Heskett at $12. Not Secret. Good run the other day for the Tomato Flogger, $10. Angel Undercover's $5.50. Hostile Talk, $3.20. Henchard, $34. And King's Salute is $4.
Papaviro Princess 800 at the 350. Already a collect before the weekend. Well played, sir. Hostile Talk 500 at the 320. King Salute 500 at the 550. Plenty of $250 and $300 bets. Hostile Talk, 4 or 5 of them banking up. And Mart, your mail has been distributed. Not a secret. A few 200 each way type bets at the 16, 14.
Yeah.
12.
Well, it was a damn good run last start, wasn't it?
Thought Hostile Talk just cruised past him.
Well, one's 320 and one's 10.
True.
Anyway.
Could go the place heavy, Mart.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old 1x3, Bradley. Punters.
Yep.
I won't put it in the graphic, though, Martin.
No, don't.
Don't have to worry. Tricky little race for me, Brad, especially now with the scratching of Papaviro Princess. Hostile Talk is your favourite. He's flying. He's clearly come back a better horse this campaign. He just won really nicely last start. You just sort of... Sometimes you see a win and you go, gee, that was a nice performance, and that's what the win of Hostile Talk last start did for me. He may have to get a bit further back here in running from the barrier that he's drawn, but he gets a couple of kilos off his back and seemingly only getting better with racing. I've got massive respect for what he's doing at the moment. I think King Salute can turn the tables on Angel Undercover from their last meeting. He gets 1.5 kilos on her for a length defeat, and is probably the better suited of that pair up to 1,400 metres with a more favourable map. So I think he can turn the tables on her, despite the fact that I think it was a really nice win. And then from the other form line, you have horses like Bruce Almighty, who continues to race really well. Benji's is airborne at the moment. Last start was only beaten by Bonjoy and Rush into the Bar. What price would those two runners be in this race? Back to 1,400 metres is perhaps not in his favour, but gee, he's going super for Cliffy Green. And even Heskett, who's $12. Heskett beat Benji's home 2 starts ago and meets him better off at the weights. So there's a few avenues you could take here.
And was pretty stiff last start.
Very stiff last weekend, in fact. Just never got a look at them when he needed some daylight. But, I struggled for a conviction here. Quite a compressed market and some different form lines, of which I wasn't exactly entirely sure which was the one I wanted to be latching onto and following, Brad.
Yeah, I can't isolate one myself, so we'll go to a man that's never battled with a conviction. Mark, what do you got for us?
Interims at Pakenham I've got for you in race 6, 8, 11, 9, 2. Naughty Benny, Ben Mallam, $2.40, $1.30. There was the omen. Tip, Serious Statement, $1.60. Primal Spirit, $2.50. Quinola $4.50, Exacta $11, Trifecta $51.60. The first 4, 8, 11, 9, 2, $160.50. 5 and 8, the double $17.60, and 1 and 6 out. Pakenham race number 7. We'll just have a look at these over the 1400. Future Stars Series Heat 7, good race 1. Preservator is 51, 2 Aislam is $6, 3 is Dasher $7.50, 5 Diva Time 91, 7 Desert Rose 21, Hey Now 2.10 into $1.55 for Williams. 9 Jenny Intiba 23, 10 Matrimonials $5.50, 11 Stella by Starlight 126, and 12 Via River at 71.
Couple off that Retrovision text line. A couple of punters are opening the shoulders up here. Mart, Fred from our man Fred from Freo, he says Big John could sit on Hostile Talk's back on Saturday and it'll still bolt him. And Richard from Kalgoorlie, he says, Hostile Talk dropped weight and should bolt in. And he says, and Richard said he's going in hard right now. So he's going in, he's getting in nice and early.
Hostile Talk.
A bit of confidence. Love it.
Going in hard early. We like it. And there's a couple of questions here about the Ascot Mile, which we might just save till we get to race number 10 on the program, gentlemen.
Righto, let's continue on. We are at 6 minutes away from 5J Rooney be coming up. We've also got a recorded interview with Ian Dunson from the Sports Daily earlier on today. So we get to race number 10, and this is the Ascot Mile, and it's over the 1,600 metres, Brad. Alaskan Cod is 23, blazing away 81.
Like that one,
I'm pretty happy with your own work there, Mark.
Pretty happy with that.
And then we go to Rush Into the Bar at 460. Fear the Wind at 12. Sensational 460. Antique Miss 11. Fly with Caution 14. And Own the Queen. The unlucky Own the Queen last start $6.
Local Pro Money Bonjoy 1100 at the 280.
The LPMs.
Fear the Wind.
Yep.
Couple $150 each way at the $11. Fly with Caution. $500 at the $14. Bonjoy heaps of $300 bets at that 275 range. Own the Queen. Don't they love backing this mare? 500 at the 7. 500 at the 7. 450 places at the 225. 800 at the 650, 600 at the 7.
I reckon Own the Queen's given her owners a few grey hairs this prep. Fair to say, Brad. Hasn't had a lot of luck.
Had some excuses, yeah.
Now, one off the text line here, Brad. How do you think, two-part question, how do you think the map in race number 10 ends up here with no obvious leader?
Yeah, it's a combination of sticky and messy, isn't it? It's you've got Fly with Caution out wide, Rush Into the Bar, who can on its day go forward. Antique Miss, Own the Queen, and they won't want to be looking at the lead with it. So, which one of those was that? How you had it, Rolls?
Yeah, I thought Antique Miss would lead, given those were the tactics she employed in a race without any speed, winning the Latrice a couple of starts ago, and then got posted wide from a wide gate, being a bit, I don't know, reactive last start. Fly with Caution would charge across, sit outside the lead. I thought you'd have Antique Miss, Fly with Caution 1-2, Own the Queen on their backs, one out, one back. Fear the Wind leaders back, and then Sensational midfield with cover, Bonjoy, Rush Into the Bar, and Alaskan God rounding out the second half of the field. So some very nice horses with a very early eye to this year's Pinnacles and some potential carnival types from a local sense doing battle here. And Bonjoy had a bit against her last start, it's fair to say, boys. Weight swings, 5 weeks between runs off a minor setback, but she was still too good for them, really. And despite being worse off 1.5 kilos rushing to the bar here, she drops 2 kilos off her own back from that effort. And he had her back in running there, and she was pretty comfortably holding him on the line, I thought, over the concluding stages. Bonjoy, and I think Marty, she's going to prove a great measuring stick for Sensational in terms of how far off a couple of our local top liners that he is. In this race on the weekend, with a very similar winning strike rate to her in his career to date. I thought he was outstanding to get up late in the piece last weekend, and I still don't think that muddling tempo suited him. He drops 4 kilos off his back here, off that 7-day spin, and should lob in front of her in running. I thought Bonjoy might potentially even be on his back in running here. Sensational settling in front of her, but while backing up off the 7 days is something new for him, I'm expecting him not only to handle it, but also to measure up in this sort of company as well. But I'm Team Bonjoy, Mark.
Yeah, so you should be.
I'm Team Bonjoy. I'm excited for this race from that sense, just to sort of see where Sensational fits into the picture with a few of these. Fear the Wind was a terrific return of such a long layoff. One off the text line here. Will Morgs be wearing his Fear the Wind lapel pin proudly on the weekend? And I was given one by one of the owners after his first up run, but there certainly they were trying to put the brakes on this horse, already having won pretty much the 2026 Perth Cup. There's a bit of spruik around how he's going at the moment, but pretty hard to hide how good he went. First up off that really long layoff. Was a super return. Fly with Caution tried a lot better recently. He's right back on track after a disappointing run last start. I think he can certainly run you a race from the breeze, given the lack of speed in the race. And what do we do with Own the Queen? What do you do with Own the Queen? It's hard to say with conviction, but I thought she was travelling as well as Bonjoy into the race on straightening last start when a drifter in betting before Troy Turner just got chopped out for a run at a crucial stage. And I'm not going to go so far to say that she would have been in that finish, but she was certainly travelling into the race. Like with Galloping Room, she was going to have a say, some sort of a say in the finish anyway.
I could have a little sneak each way or place Heavy Antique Miss going on the soft map, the complete forgive last start and the horse's form before that. And certainly back out to the mile no disadvantage either. Right.
Super race. Looking forward to it. The continuing battle, Bonjoy rushing to the bar. Fear the Wind, Sensational. Just going through the grades beautifully. Tough. And Own the Queen, unlucky last start. It's got all the makings of a great Ascot Mile. The last event of the day is the Hemlock Stone Perth Cup winner handicap. They are milking this for everything they can. This has been a masterclass from Morley, an absolute masterclass. And he's listening in, he's just chuckling away over the 1,200 metres and one influencing. Well, you went up 18, then you said, well, we'll go to 19 and see if there's anything out there, and bang into 11. Son of the Boss. It is 11 into 6. Lon's Delight, 950. Brimstone, 23. King Cartel, 16. Big Day on it, 51. One guess who trains that. Siberian Siren is $5. Golden Veil, $353.20. Selfless Actors, 18. Trio, $10. Canny Rock, 16 to 12. And Gage Roads, 31 to 20. Might have one here.
I'll give you another few minutes to find that while I read through the bet. Son of the Bosch, early, they were reasonably keen, the $11, a couple of $200 bets there, 1,000 places at the $290 as well, if you don't mind. 400 places, Gage Roads at the $6. King Cartel, 300 at the $15. 200 at the $15 as well. Influencing, couple hundred at the 11. That is a bit of ESP activity.
Mm-hmm.
Canny Rock, Mart.
Can he ever?
There's a bit of snipping down there too.
Yeah, felt a bit like...
Would you call that manscaping? If there's snipping for Canny Rock? No, okay.
Felt a bit like Martin Dion's the other week by race 11. I was ready to call it early.
Yeah.
And get out of there. But I think Son of the Boss, Barsh, deserves an each-way ticket in the last. I thought he was a super run last start, 1,400 back to the 11 behind all play. He clearly gets along really well with Braden Garth and maps for a super run here from the barrier that he's drawn, and 1,200 metres suits better, dropping back in class from a 72 to a 66. I think I can understand the money there, and I think he looks a nice each-way play for a very consistent horse in a race that is pretty even, I would say. No surprise to see Lonsdale rinse and repeat from last start with how he's going. Always a very exciting avenue for your money, Brad, with his pattern of racing. Little trumpet there for the big fella getting that one home last start as well at the price. Golden Vale's a 3-year-old filly taking on the older horses, but don't love the fact she's likely to breeze at 1,200. Just don't see there's any value there at her current price, but the 3-year-olds have that formula's a very likeable commodity for many punters up against the older horses. But yeah, there's a few others you could touch on here, but I reckon Son of the Boss looks a nice each-way play to round out the day, Marty.
Okay.
For cheerio to Jimmy Taylor, who'd no doubt be tuning in as well. We've missed talking to Jim on drive, and hopefully we can be doing it again very soon.
Is he coming good? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just be resting up with a Magic Millions catalogue, wouldn't he? Just going through and
He'd have that one sewn up. Trio, place heavy.
Not for the graphic, though.
No graphic.
I'm Lonsdale's drifting again, so it's going to get me.
That was my best bet of the day. You to tip this again.
And Siberian Siren's going to get me as well. I just might need a touch of luck, but love how this horse is trialling. I know there's been that little, obviously, whether it be setback or whatever, but this is a nice horse going through the grades, and even going back to winter, I think has that D'Amber form, which just holds up in this grade, Mart.
You seem to like the grunts, Brad. Is there some sort of arrangement here where you're just tipping into every horse side by grunt going around in WA at the moment?
Like
one of my favourite pastimes, yeah.
He loves the name. All right, we better get these in the book for you, Riley, because last week you said, I really like this meeting, and you got involved and really hit some form. So let's go through them again now.
Okay, bear with me. 11 races. Race 2, really
Have you got your quill out, Mart?
Race 2, really like King Adviso and think Comic Hero poses the main threat. So if you're not happy to back King Adviso each way, maybe have a little saver there on Comic Hero, but do like the setup for him. Race number 3, would love to see some $3 Snow God. Happy to hold fire until then. I think he's a really nice horse. Race 4 for the 2-year-olds. Really like what I've seen thus far from Stride Away for Neville Parnham. Happy to butter up with that filly. Race 7, Back and Save, Lost City at your service. Race number 8, another little 2-horse play now that the each-way price has evaporated. Was going to tip Boab Boy each way, but now happy to have a little Dutch bet. Boab Boy and Great Demon in the 8th event on the program. In the feature, race 10, number 3, Bonjoy, and race 11, Son of the Barsh, each way to round out the program, Mart. If you can write that quickly, you've done a good job.
Got it. How about you, McGee?
Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, I know. Slowly. You rattle through yours. Come on, let's go.
Okay, race 3, My Aloha, 650 each way.
Aloha.
Race 5, Mart. We're in alignment, Mart. Rocket Juice, 550.
Yeah.
Race 5. Race 8, Chino La Diva each way at the $9.
Chino, yeah.
Race 11, I'll be backing both, the way it's looking, I'll be backing both Lons Delete and Siberian Siren. Race 4, Sneaky Aberdeen Flyer at that each way price. I think the wide gate might actually suit this horse. And race 6, Rolls are in a bit of alignment, a sneaky each way out wide bet. We rate you at the $18-ish to run it's going well, so it's ready to salute.
Flush Paddy is sneaky in race number 6.
Oh, that's enough. Come on. You've upset. I like to go chronologically. He gets to race 11 and then goes back to race 4 and 6.
And then after the last Big John's bangers,
he's run out of ink.
Big John's doing a DJ set after the last.
Should be good. Looking forward to that. So, Pakenham race 7 is 7 minutes off. We've looked at the board. We'll take a break. Thanks for coming in, Bradley. You've been very good today.
Thanks.
We hope you enjoyed another stimulating episode of Straight Up. All betting markets supplied by Tab Touch. All care, no responsibility went into the production of today's podcast.